Kenny Dillingham with us for a couple of minutes. I want to get your definition and maybe some examples of what is culture. What's culture?
Culture is when the practice ends and you go in the locker room and you or me as the head coach go down in the locker room an hour after practice ends. Our kids in there arguing with each other over who the best NBA player is. Our kids in there playing Madden. Our kids playing ping pong. Are they doing this weird game where they point different directions and try not to look the same way? Whatever these games are, or have they all left? That's it. Do they want to be around each other? Do they enjoy each other so much that they go through all this blood, sweat, and tears and they're exhausted and tired and they still choose to be together?
Hmm.
And then you combine that with when bad things happen, do they support each other? When something bad happens to a player, somebody misses a play, does somebody pick that guy up and help get him to where he needs to be? If somebody beats out another player on the field and one person takes 1 reps, does the two come up and be like, you deserve it? I'm going to push you though. I'm going to take this job. I'm coming. That's culture. All those things together where they just show just community and support for one another. And that's what I think is culture.
What does failure look like?
Failure is not being the very best you can be at anything you do. It's just you should fail 99 times before you ever succeed. Well, now how you look at failure is the question. Do you look at the word as failure in terms of what everybody perceives it as, in terms of failure, go cry in a room and check Twitter and everybody hates you? Is that failure? No. Failure is setting a standard so high that it's nearly impossible to achieve. And every day you wake up and try to achieve this standard that's really not possible, that people laugh at you over. There's not, you're going to be blank. Okay, go ahead. And you continue to fail and 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 embrace it to a point where people are like, holy cow. Oh, and then they say after you failed 99 times and you have that success, it's not really success, it was luck. Mm-hmm. That's failure.
Got an example?
I mean, I've been, I'll use myself as an example. People thought my dreams and aspirations in this profession were impossible and laughable when I'm a 17-year-old dude who's never played college football, with no connections in the profession. They thought they were laughable when I said I want to be the youngest head coach. Everybody laughed at me. Nobody took me seriously when I got into this. Not even close. But you know what? It doesn't matter what people think about you. It's a matter of what you're willing to do. And it's a matter of how many times you're going to go try to be successful and how many times you're going to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail again. And guess what? Now, what do people say? He's lucky. That's how it works. And that's really the goal of everybody is, can you make people make excuses for why they're not you? That's when you know you've really been successful, is when people make excuses for how you got there and why they can't. And that's really what we're trying to get our guys to do, is like learn how to fail and compete and have a passion for what you do. And if that passion's so deep in you, and if you don't get rattled by what people rule as negative failures, you use them as motivation, then one day you're going to wake up and everybody's going to say, man, this dude's so lucky. If I could only be as lucky as him.
You only have $1 million, $10 million, whatever. Yeah, I've heard that too. Discipline. What does discipline look like for Kenny Dillingham to his team, or just in people?
I think in people is discipline is not what I do if you don't do something. So what I mean is, okay, you don't show up, I'm going to discipline you. I don't think that's discipline. I think what discipline is setting a standard and knowing what the repercussions are. Is in order to build a culture, you have to set extremely high standards like we just talked about. And then you have to set minimum standards. And you have to set a culture that if you don't hit this standard, this is the punishment. It's pretty simple. I'm not choosing to punish you. I'm not choosing to have you wake up at 6 a.m. on Saturday to come get your makeout work because you were a minute late to workouts, so we kicked you out of the workout. If you're a minute late to one of our workouts, you don't get to work out. You get to go home. You get to work out at 6 a.m. on Saturday. You were late. You don't get to work out anymore. It's very simple. I don't care if you're a minute late, 10 seconds late, or 2 hours late. Doesn't matter. So I think discipline to me is setting a standard and making kids make choices. And all life is a series of choices. Is the juice worth the squeeze? If I know I'm going to hit my alarm again, I know if I show up late, I'm going to be kicked out and have to come back at 6 a.m. Saturday. Constant choices. Kids get to make decisions daily. Our job is to show them what they are. They get to decide what the discipliner is.
You don't have many rules then under that.
Not that many rules, standards. Be a good person. I say it all the time. Like, there is right and there is wrong. There is no gray area. Like, I hate gray area. There's no such thing as gray area. Everybody, when they make a decision, they know what's right. They know what's wrong. They may try to justify if they're doing something wrong and trick themselves into saying, is it really wrong? But you know, if you're making a decision that's right or wrong, you know it. There is no gray area in our program. I use an example. Well, first day, when our first meeting, we have a basketball hoop in our meeting room. I said, who wants to challenge me to a shootout? I said, 10 push-ups if I beat you. I had said, okay, you shoot first. He shot from the other end of the meeting room and lost. I said, I bet I make a shot before you. He shot. He lost. I walked up to the hoop and shot a layup. And I said, I never told you that I had to shoot from back here, right? But you guys all know that that's wrong. Yes. That's not how we operate here. Just because I didn't tell you the rule doesn't mean you can find a loophole. That's not how we're going to operate. Everybody knew what I meant. And that's how this program is going to be.
So what do you know now that you didn't know being a head coach on November 27th, 2022?
How much stuff goes into it that has nothing to do with football?
Like this, like this.
Yeah, this, but like how we travel. Do coaches have travel cards? Like, how do we get something built in the building that we need? How do, like, all the, you have to get 3 bids in order to get electricity somewhere to use our new machine. And you have to get 3 bids from people who used to work at Arizona. It's like all of these political steps in order to essentially buy a water bottle. And it's like, guys, I'm trying to get a water bottle. And it's not really just a water bottle, but you understand there's such simple tasks that have to go through such bureaucracy. That's what I'm learning, that I can't get frustrated with, that I just got to embrace that this is a new chapter for me and a new challenge for me. And in college football, there is no real world. You live in a world where it's 4th and 1 every day and things get done on command. Your boss tells you to do something, you do it instantly. I'm in the real world in this other side of this profession now, where things don't happen like that. And I am learning some patience.
You learning, anticipating, probably lean on people. Who's the right side of your brain outside of your wife right now?
Coach Regal is definitely, somebody I lean on. Coach Baldwin, somebody I lean on. Mike Norvell, somebody I lean on. And then I have a few ADs in my past that I've built really good relationships with, that I trust, that I lean on just for advice in terms of, big picture, guys that have, been in college for a long time that I've leaned on for a while, not just here, but just in my career as a whole.
Yeah. You feel good about where you are? I mean, and I say this from the standpoint of you're hired November 27th to where you are now, the learning curve for any coach, and you've not been a head coach. Now you are a head coach. You're at a major program across the country. People are looking at, is he going to be able to do it, as you referred to earlier, the doubters, the skeptics? You feel like you're on the right curve, or is it, look, I got to coach my first game in 90 days and I still need answers here, here, and here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound bad. The thing I'm least concerned about is football. Football is football, guys. Let's not make this billion-dollar industry kid ourselves that there's still 22 people on the field, right? When you play offense, 6 people are in the same spot almost every snap. The 5 linemen and the quarterback. You get to move 5 people, guys. That's it. The defense has 5 people in the box every snap. They get to move 6. This is really, really not rocket science. You have to understand when to use timeouts and know the rules. That's what I've been doing since I've been on the couch with my dad since I was 3, right? The football is not the part that I'm not worried about game day at all. right? It's the challenging, like everything you've brought up is what wins football games, the culture, what are the challenges are, do they frustrate you? Can you keep those separate from the main thing, which is your players? And do your players know that you'll go to absolute bat for anything they need? Do they know that if they're in trouble at any point, can they call you and you have their back? Because at some point as a coach, you're going to be out on that field and you're going to say, we're going to run inside zone. It's 4th and 1. Can we get it? And the defense knows it's going to be inside zone. You're not going to throw play action. The game's on the line, mano a mano. And your players have to look at you and say, coach, go for it. Just like they called you at one time and they said, coach, I need you. I'm in a pinch. Can you help me? And you said, yes. They look at you and you guys have that trust in each other. That's what wins.
Anything else you want to add that I haven't asked you about where you are right now?
No, I mean, I feel, I think the city's getting behind us. I think, guys like you asking me to be on the show is awesome. Guys that have a huge voice in this valley and supporting us. I think our kids need to know that they're working really hard right now. Like, I'm so proud of the team. Winning in sports is always reflective on wins and losses, but where this team is in terms of the growth they've made, we just need support. Good, bad, and different. This year, we need people to support these players and support the change and support the direction we're going.
I'll let you go off that. I appreciate your time and insight as always. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Go Devils.
Kenny Dillingham, and we're back with more after this timeout.